Crypto with Danny and Stinny here. What is the crack? It's great to see you today on this fine, sunny Saturday, or whenever you're catching this. I'm on the way up to the office to meet some clients for some consulting to help them build plans to retire early. Shameless plug. If you want help to build a plan to retire early, check out Crypto with Danny's Consulting. Or check out Danny. Give Danny a shout. Who's that? So that is the plan. I'll just give Facebook a second here and YouTube to notify the community that Danny is on. I want to talk about the easiest way to understand Bitcoin, because it's a simple way. And this video is meant for new people. So if you're an OG and you're trying to orange pill your friends or family or whatever, share this video with them. Send it on to them there now, and they can do it. It will help them to understand Bitcoin. So remember, beware the scammers, all the normal stuff. Do your daily exercise. I'll be hitting the gym later, can't wait. I'm in a good place with the gym. In the bull market you can get distracted, life's too easy, you're going out all the time, you're eating bad food, you're having desserts. But in the bear market, you know, things don't get as busy, you can focus on what's really important. And in the bull market I just wasn't able to do my training, I had too many people swinging at me. In the bear market I've been able to pull things right back and regain control so that I can go to the gym and train every single day, because that's when I'm happiest. And I wasn't too happy. Well, I was still happy, but the old belly was getting out of control, lads. And as you know, I'm a fan of a pint of Guinness or two, and you've got to be hitting the gym if you want to be enjoying those bad boys, just to negate the effects of the black gold. What else do I have to say? Beware the scammers, I think I said that. All the new people, there's no competitions, there's no airdrops, there's nothing, no nonsense. Never send Bitcoin to Danny. If you want to do our courses, sign up on our website. Sign up €2, you're protected until you learn how to transact in cryptocurrencies and you understand all the risk vectors. You probably shouldn't try and transact in cryptocurrencies. So pay me in euros, not Bitcoin, not Ethereum, not any other stuff like that. So the easiest way to understand Bitcoin, I'll have to be quick here this morning, so good morning today is all, or good afternoon. The easiest way to understand Bitcoin, okay, I think when you're trying to orange pill someone or you're trying to explain Bitcoin, they're like, explain Bitcoin to me. And you see, the problem is Bitcoin is new and it's different and it's not relatable to anything. Like, I use the narrative digital gold and that gets people the baby step, okay, and I think you have to talk to people where they're at. Alright, there's no point in confusing someone when they want to dip a toe in and you go off on a tangent. Okay, you've got to spoon feed people baby little bits of information. Okay, but one of the easiest ways to understand Bitcoin is to understand fiat money. Okay, and fiat money is what we use, euros. It's what we transact in. Okay, and when you understand fiat, you see, Bitcoin is being mass adopted in countries where their fiat is much worse than ours. You see, all fiat currencies, alright, the fiat standard, they all trend towards zero. So by design, they lose value over time. And of course then, they can lose all their value over time. You know, and we've seen that. You know, in the Bitcoin space, we always share there's a Zimbabwe note, which was like $100 billion, you know, and the note was worthless. And it was $100 billion of Zimbabwe dollars. So fiat currencies all trend towards zero. Now, everyone understands this, because if you go back 20 years, things were much cheaper to buy. You didn't for 20 euros, you got much more goods and services with 20 euros than you do today. And in 20 years time, if the euro still exists, you'll get much less goods and services than you'll get today. We'll all talk about, do you remember in 2020, I was paying £5 for a pint of Guinness, £5, and I'll probably be paying 15 in 2040, like. Please God, I'm still here. Okay, but that's how fiat currencies work. They trend towards zero. Now, in the countries where their fiats are further along and their central banks have had not as good monetary control and they've basically screwed them up, okay, citizens of these countries understand Bitcoin. You can explain Bitcoin to them in 2 minutes, okay, because they understand how bad the system they're in is. In Ireland here, in our system, you know, we've had it okay. We've only had whatever percent inflation, 3 to 5%, for my lifetime. Obviously the CPI is lower than that, the number they tell you, but the reality inflation, so it's quite low, so we don't really notice, it doesn't hurt too much. But at the moment it's starting to hurt, because inflation is almost double digit, and that's official inflation. But like real inflation is likely way higher than that. Real inflation is likely somewhere around 20%, 15-20% or above. Okay, so the easiest way for you to try and understand Bitcoin is firstly to understand the system you're in. That the system we're in, it makes it so difficult to get ahead. And again, this is for new people, but and some of you guys are here a while, you've probably heard me speak about this before, but share the stream, tag anyone who's struggling to understand Bitcoin or saying, what's the point of it? Sure, it's volatile. Sure, government's going to bring out central bank digital currency and that's going to replace Bitcoin. You know, they've a bit of homework to do, okay? They've got it so wrong. So, if we just walk through this, the system that we're in, okay, 50 years ago, my granddad worked, okay, he had a garage in Swords, we had a petrol station on Swords Main Street, right on the street, pumps on the street, and my granddad was able to provide a great life for my mum, and my nana, and my uncles. You know, he just worked normal hours, and then life was good, okay, they had their own house, he was able to build 2 other houses, he had his own garage, he had a bit of property. Okay, so input versus what he got out of his man hours. He done pretty well. He created a nice life for himself and his family. And not to detract, apparently he was an amazing mechanic. He was a genius mechanic, is what, you know, mechanics that I meet now, older guys that would have worked with my granddad were like, oh, he was an absolute genius mechanic. Anything that couldn't be fixed, you went to Tommy. Okay, but he was a mechanic. He just had a mechanic's wage. He wasn't a brain surgeon. Okay, or he wasn't a Wall Street or anything like this. He just had a normal job and he was able to create a great life for his family. Okay, then my dad, similar sort of career, a tradesman, but had to work much harder. Okay, and my mother had to work, and they created a good life for us. Now, fair enough, money, we always had money worries, but they did create a good life for us. Now, fast forward to my generation, we've had it a bit tougher. We're working our ass off, okay? And a lot of my friends who are my age haven't got a house yet. They're priced out. They're married and one partner's living with their parents and the other partner's living with her parents. And they've got kids and they're in this situation. And some of them, okay, they're living in a mobile home. Alright, to get by. And both partners are working, so they're working harder than my granddad. We won't say working harder than my granddad, maybe they are. They're doing longer hours. My granddad worked, you know, 9 to 5, 5 days a week, job done. Let's go enjoy life. That's what it's all about, okay? These people aren't. These people are working 8 to 7, 8 to 8, and they're working Saturdays. And they're still not in as good a position as my granddad was. That's the fiat system. It trends towards zero. It gets harder and harder. So let's look at the generation ahead, the generation today, the 20-year-olds. They can't buy a house now. They're priced out of the market. You know, I jokingly say you're going to own nothing and you're not going to be happy. But this is how, because the fiat system makes it so difficult to get ahead. They all trend towards zero. Look around, there's other countries that are ahead of us, okay? Developing countries. That's why these are adopting Bitcoin like wildfire. That's why Bitcoin wallet addresses are at all-time highs. Yeah, these people aren't going to move to Bitcoin price, but because there's not that much wealth in their nation, but to them, Bitcoin's monetary system is orders of magnitude better from what they're experiencing currently, okay? Now, all I've talked about is our monetary system. Let's talk about technology's evolution, alright? Back in my granddad's day, when he worked in the garage, there was much more manual work needed, okay? It wasn't a case of just unplug something and throw a new part in. You know, as a mechanic today, and I served my time as a motor mechanic years ago. I worked in a motorcycle shop and I worked in a car garage, and you know, I served years working as a mechanic, and I was like, Jesus, this isn't as exciting as the good old days when we fix stuff. Now we just replace components. We're not really fixing anything. We just replace a component, and then if that fixes the problem, happy days. And if it doesn't, we replace something else. But we're not actually fixing anything anymore. To me, it wasn't as exciting as I sort of thought it was at my granddad's age. But it was much easier, okay? Because all I had to do was pull out a part and pop a part in, job done. I didn't have to strip a part down and do labour on the part and test the part and build the part. Do you understand what I mean? So I was much more efficient with my time 20 years ago as a motor mechanic than my granddad was when he had to fix everything, okay? and wait on little parts and stuff. We just had a parts department in the garage where we grabbed the stuff, we popped it in. So just as a tradesman, I was much more efficient. I was able to get more done in less time. Rational thinking would say, if I'm getting more done in less time, I should be earning more. Whatever my granddad earned, since technology has made my life easier, I should be richer than him. I should have more free time, more wealth, more houses. Why don't I? Why don't I? Now the problem is no one thinks about this, okay? I've thought deeply about this. I spent a lot of time thinking about it. The same is true. Look at that smartphone there that you're looking at me on, okay? That's a genius device. That's basically an AI robot that I have that can do anything for me, pretty much. 20 years ago I didn't have one of them. With all that technology that I now have at my disposal, and the first iPhone had more technology than NASA had when they put a man on the moon. More technology, okay? Not one little phone had. But if you scratch your head and you say, with all this technology, they could put a man on the moon on it, I have it in my hand, why am I working so much? Do you get the point? Why is life so hard? When I have it so much easier and I can do so much more. And I have all this technology. Rational thinking should be like, I should work an hour a week these days and have more than my granddad had. Life should be easier. Why isn't it? Yeah, I hope you're having fun. So, this is the thing you have to realize. Technology makes things cheaper. Technology gives you back your time. Fiat monetary system does the opposite. It destroys your time. It steals your time. And that's why my granddad's time, because he was further back in the fiat system, they all trend towards zero, okay? But because he was further back in the system was easier. But as we go on, every decade, the system gets more fecked and more fecked and more fecked. You know, Turkey is a little bit further on. They've fecked up their system a bit more, okay? And they're suffering from massive inflation now. So it's not just happening in developing nations, okay? And we're suffering the highest inflation we've ever had in 40 years. And we've had a stock market crash that's worse than what's happened in 90 years. That's what's happening out there, okay? So once you understand that this fiat system is taking your time and destroying it, you're exchanging your time for money, and money that's trending down in value, but a money that trends down in value faster each decade, okay? That's the critical thing to understand. What Bitcoin is a money that trends up in value because it's programmed to become digitally scarcer and scarcer and scarcer over time. That's why you got to understand Bitcoin, and that's why developing worlds are very open to Bitcoin, because they're further along. They're getting hurt more by fiat. You guys have it too easy. You're just starting to experience. You guys, us I suppose, I'm with you guys. We have it too easy. We're just starting to experience, you know, really decent levels of inflation, and it's hurting us. But it's our prompt to learn about Bitcoin. Us people who are in Bitcoin, we see things getting cheaper over time. All the people in fiat who haven't yet transitioned to have a Bitcoin element in their life, they're just seeing things getting more expensive. Have an awesome day. I'm Going Consultant to help people build a plan to retire early. If you ever need help to understand all this stuff in more detail, check out CryptoWithDinny.com. We do workshops and we do Retire Early Club. Shameless plug on Retire Early Club. In the part of the first module, module 1, we teach self-custody, self-sovereignty, but we also teach money. And this is understanding money, okay? And we do it in a lot more detail than you often for 10 minutes. We have a whole 10 video series that's not even made by me, and we get the guys to watch it. They're all 20 minutes, and it's amazing education. Have a super day, enjoy it, Dinny out.